All right, all right, all right. Another awesome Friday we're having. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much once again to take your time out to be with us in this bit windy, coldy Friday, if I could say it so. This is our 17th episode out of 24 online entrepreneurial survival summit episodes. We decided to take a bit of a different a different approach to how we're doing things tonight. So this is how we're going to do it tonight. We decided that from episode 1 to episode 16, which was yesterday, there's been a lot of content feeding. So we just need to pause at time and just reflect as to how the journey has been. Are we really growing? Are we really getting better? Are we really feeling that there is some value adding in the voices that we listen to? So we've decided that we're going to co-host with two panelists, Ntate Mulifinyofani, which is going to be a speaker who will be speaking next week, and then we'll also be joined by Ntate Lebogang Matlabi, who spoke on Friday, on Monday. Yes, sorry, on Monday. He was a speaker on Monday. But now, for those people who have been joining us throughout the sessions, we just want to hear your voice. We just want you to be with us. So what are we going to do, or what we decided to do? We're going to put one attendee at a time to share with us the aha moment or the wow moment throughout from the episode 1 until yesterday episode. So we're not going to do it in the sequence of episode 1, episode 2. We'll just promote one attendee to be part of the panelists and to hear the journey. What have they gained throughout the last episodes? I can see that my panelists are already set and ready to go. And Tate Nyofani and Tate Matlabe, kgotsong by tapele baka.
Thanks a lot. It's an honor to be part of this evening session, and I'm looking forward to have an exciting time.
Madume, and the big dreamer, everyone who joined us tonight, and my fellow panelists, my greetings, and I'm very honored to be here and to reflect on this wonderful, epic summit.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. It's like we could just prolong it to the whole 12 months. Look, the foundation of the idea simply was to raise a voice of hope, to inspire confidence on entrepreneurs who were having difficulty. And our aim was to focus on 4 areas that we felt were crucial to the ongoing concern of the business, which was the mindset, the psychological part of the lockdown, the business system affording time as to what can we work on with the given time of lockdown. And then the third aspect was the strategies, because long-term strategies were no longer deployable for our businesses. What strategies can we have that will enable us to survive and thrive beyond? And the last week, which will be the money talk sessions. So that was the entire aim of us building a hyper collaboration, meaning borrowing the mind and the doing how of those who are still in business during this lockdown, for them to assist us with what is working for them. So we decided to bring 24 experts to come and speak to us, to come give us tactics and strategies that will enable us to keep on surviving and thriving beyond the lockdown. So panelists, just to remind you, this is brought to us by Mind Think Institute, which is a transformational educational organization that is based in the Free State, with service offering on personal and business leadership trainings. So we are excited about tonight that we're going to recap and look at some of the takeaways and possibly bring clarity to some of the matters that were not really broken down to the level of our attendees. But with your go ahead, I'm going to ask to promote one attendee to join the panelists, so then we can hear the voice and then we will take it from there. Do I have your blessings?
Please.
All right.
Let's do so, Manam.
Thank you, sir. Jabulile, I think your name has been coming up so many times in our sessions. I'm going to promote you to the panelists. Jabulile. Right. Can you just unmute your audio and video, Jabulile? Meanwhile, hi, how are you, sister?
I am very well, thanks.
I'm all right. It's nice to be with you.
Hello, Jabulile.
Hi.
Look, you can just tell everyone who are you and what are you doing before you can give us what were your highlights for the last 16 episodes.
Okay, my name is Jabulile Nhlapo. I am a child of God, and I greet everyone in the name of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Amen. Jabulile?
Can I share?
Yes, please. Can you just share with us what were your three things that were outstanding for you or that you still remember? You can share 3 of them and then we can allow the panelists to add. Or
Okay.
say one and then let's allow the panelists to add.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, I would first of all like to acknowledge and thank MindThink Institute and all the past presenters for really gracing us with their presence and watering our seed of knowledge. I believe that this summit was very much needed, not only for entrepreneurship, but also for a person's personal development. So when we kicked off the summit, we had Dr. Lichuti. He was talking about developing a positive self-concept. In his presentation, he said that the environment plays a very crucial role in how one perceives themselves. And he touched on a number of elements within the environment that actually influences how one sees themselves. One of them being parental opinion. That one stood out for me because it really touched home. It touched home because it reminded me of a time, a long time ago, when I had to choose a career path, and instead of doing what makes my heart sing, I decided to follow a career path that was pleasing to my parents because their opinion meant so much to me. But as one would imagine, that did not work out. So in diagnosing such, the Dr. Lichuti prescribed, his prescription was that if you are dealing with such negative, he said that it is good to respect and honor your parents or your family, but deny them loyalty if their opinion is against your purpose.
Wow.
So that
Thank
is
you.
powerful.
Thank you very much. He spoke on the topic developing positive self-concept, where he mentioned positional environmental elements, one being parental opinion, siblings' opinion, educators' opinion, peers' opinion, lovers' opinion, spouse opinion, and colleagues' opinion. Panelists, anything to add?
No, my colleague can continue actually. Maybe I can come as a cherry on top. Entertain
Okay.
You can continue.
Thank you. No, thank you very much, Adaptability. It's always been a privilege. I mean, the past 2 weeks has been incredible. The past 2 weeks has been incredible, and one has learned like never before. I was actually telling one of my friends that, you know what, I've been to conferences, I've been to personal development seminars, but I've never really attended a seminar or a conference of this nature where every night people come together online, and the speakers are willing to share such great experiences, such great wisdom, free of charge, you know, free of charge. I mean, I want to really also add into what Ausjabilis mentioned. I mean, what really stood out for me in Dr. Lichuti's talk was exactly what Ausjabilis said. You know, there are a lot of things that our parents and our environment are teaching us. Someone once said something like, a road to darkness is built on good intentions. So there are a lot of things that our environment teaches us, and one of the things, you know, I mean, he did speak about parents, he did speak about peers, he did speak about colleagues. So he addresses all societal structures of people surrounding us, you know, and the fact that their opinion can actually hinder your destiny. That was a great epiphany for me. That was my moment. And I loved the fact that how he differentiated honor and loyalty. That you don't have to be disrespected. You don't have to actually speak bad about them. You could honor them. But loyalty, being loyal to them is going to hinder your destiny. So for me, that was an incredible aha moment for me in Dr. Lichut. But I want to add also, because you know, one of the things that has happened in this summit is that the speakers were carefully selected. Every single speaker that comes every night, they know their story. And I want to honestly say, I know most of them are actually listening to this discussion. I want to say, from where we are as audience, from where we are as MindThink Institute, or from where we are as entrepreneurs, we are eternally grateful. We are eternally grateful because each and every speaker that comes, Adaptability and my fellow panelists, every speaker that comes brings their A game. They bring their A game. And as I said, the willingness to share the truths, the willingness to share the approaches. I mean, when Dr. Lichuti shared, how do you then restore your positive self-concept? When he started saying you must find your purpose. And if I'm not mistaken, he said that it is your potential to do anything is hidden in your purpose. And once you find your purpose and your potential is ignited, you have what I think he called an internal story of destiny or internal story of success. I mean, that was so incredible. And I'm so glad that not only me had that story of honor and loyalty, but also our fellow audience, Ausjabilile, also got touched by that story.
Can we just, because my president, I think because of time, can we just keep it as short as we can, so that at least we give all sessions attention? 12 minutes at least per session, it's fine.
Yes, sir. Maybe just to add on top for the first session, key things that he mentioned is that you must at least know your purpose and then know your vision. And then he say purpose is the reason why you live, but vision is living out what you live for. So I think that's one of the most important things, a distinction between having a vision and knowing your purpose. Purpose, it can be your why, but your vision is living your why. And I think it was one of the most fulfilling moments, just for one to have that, to internalize the distinction between the two, not only from a theoretical point of view, because in many times we can hear people speak about vision, speak about purpose, and then we think they are the same thing. And to the finest point, we don't know how to differentiate them. So sometimes you say, I live my purpose, until you don't actually have a clear vision of your purpose or of your why. And I think he had the ability to put that in a simplistic manner. And I think much has been said about the difference between honor and loyalty. Many of us, I think we are limping heroes and limping leaders because we gave people loyalty who actually deserved honor. But I'm glad that the very first session had given us much wisdom to give honor where it's due and also to give loyalty where it's due. And I think we can continue to follow and hear what were some of the session's outcome or parting shots or takeaways, mean to say.
Thank you, sir. We are born into a family. A family is not born into us. So where we're supposed to give loyalty, give loyalty. Where you're supposed to give honor, give honor. Aushabulile, the second aha moment.
Okay, and then Metoi Mtembu spoke about how even a broken crayon can still color. This was just, it was an aha moment, because she even made a comparison to, like, she said that.
Take your time, fine.
Yeah, I'm nervous. The nerves are truly killing me. Yeah, okay, well, Mentoi, yes, she shared a scripture, Joel 2:25-28. She said, the Lord said that He will restore the years that the locust had stolen. And then she made a comparison of this COVID-19 to the locust. She said, as much as this COVID has stolen a lot from us, as much as it has taken people's jobs, people's businesses have fallen, she said that the Lord will restore everything that COVID-19 has stolen from us. She said that there is life beyond this COVID-19, and that people should just take this time to actually let their creative juices flow. Take this time to use that Holy Spirit that Jesus left in us to come out with new ideas and things that will sustain them beyond this COVID-19.
All right. Ndate Matlabe, he made a very touching comparison when she said, your color is your purpose. Even if they try to break you, it means that your coloring will multiply, because sometimes things that we grow learning, there's a point where we have to be broken to lose them, because of they are the same factors that hinder us from progressing towards the destiny that is set for us.
Indeed, in many extent, I think all of us can attest that there's been moments in our lives where we were broken, and especially during this time where maybe, especially for entrepreneurs who may think that their businesses are not going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you look at yourself and you think you are a failure, or you are actually defeated. But in many cases, purpose is something that will continuously pull you to the direction of your destiny. And just hearing how a color that you are, or the color that you have, is distinctive from all the colors that are within the palette, I think that was just a restoring moment. And especially because it came from a spiritual point of view, many of the nuggets that she shared were backed not only by experience, but by scripture from a Christian perspective. But I think in essence, all of that were relevant to either or each and every one of us, despite the worldview that you subscribe to. And I think it was just the beauty of the session to really listen and think deep. And one thing I think about her, she was sort of calm. She was relaxed. She was not in a rush. She was just here. And being a mother, you can actually feel that she's comforting, and she just has that glow, that an aura that calls you to hear and to listen. And it was really a mature conversation that we had. So I think that can be my take on her session.
That's funny.
Uh,
Broken
Yeah.
crayon can still color.
Oh my goodness. You know very well we have spoken about this even offline, that I think personally for me that was a moment of restoration for us. You know, Metoi's session brought a lot of hope, and I want to concur with my fellow brother who said it was coming from a motherly perspective, and the fact that she kind of like reminded us as entrepreneurs that we are not running the show, you know, that there's something higher than us, which is the high power, which is God, you know, that is actually controlling what is happening. And when she shared about even the broken crayon can still color, I mean, that metaphoric illustration just opened a lot of things, you know, because we could relate. You could relate how many times you were broken, how many times you were rejected, how many times you were told that your idea would never actually pass any stage, you know, whether early, intermediate, final stage, you know. It just kind of like even made one to realize that even COVID, even if we were to be broken through COVID, we could still come out and color and multiply.
People don't want to be associated with anything that is broken.
Yeah.
But what God's broke, he can amend because he's the creator, you know?
Yeah.
So I love the fact that we try to bring realisticness into all our concepts and all our topics. Right now, one of her books she's directing a movie with one of her books. Please go and start following her Facebook link, Ntoi Mtembu. She's directing one of the local movies in KZN. It is one of her books. So we made sure that we bring people who are results of their own educational system, because everyone is their own educational system. You learn new things every day. The last aha moment.
Okay. Ntate Dogozo Biela.
Yebo.
Yes, he spoke about eliminating the absolute maintenance mindset. He pointed out that this COVID-19 has actually compelled people to actually press the reset button. He said that the only thing that is constant is change, because it is guaranteed to happen on a daily basis. And a typical example is this COVID-19. No one expected it, no one saw it coming, but we have and had to adapt to the changes that it has brought to our lives. And another thing that stood out for me was when he was talking about dragging a dead horse. In reference again to me pursuing a career that was not my vocation or my calling. It was like dragging a dead horse, because I was doing something that was just not working out. I was on it. It was dragging me down. It was depressing me. It was slowing my progress, where in actual fact I could have been doing something that God has called me to do, which I could have thrived in.
Wow. And that's funny. Eliminating the obsolete maintenance mindset. There's so much that we take over time as we grow up. And sometimes we fail to respond to the call because our mind capacity cannot make provision of relevancy information.
Yeah.
How do we eliminate elimination?
Aptitapelo, when Mr. Ntokozo spoke about that, when he specifically spoke about tracking a dead horse, it reminded me of what we are taught when we grow up. They say experience is the best teacher. So we are actually programmed to look from the past to actually mend the present and predict the future. And it made me realize that that is not really a right approach to look at it. Because automatically when you think experience is the best teacher, it means you're already preventing future possibilities or future adventures, avenues to actually quite happen. Like what Asjabulile is actually talking, it's almost my same experience. I remember I went to school to study LLB. When I couldn't study an LLB, I went into political science. But I knew in me, that is not my stream. That is not my career stream. But they say that you are at school, you have to finish. You have to finish what you've started, But even if it doesn't serve your destiny, even if it doesn't fuel your gift, or it doesn't really help you to find your passion and your purpose, we continuously trekking at that hole. I ended up actually literally being expelled from performing very high in high school. I ended up literally being expelled from the university because, and automatically what does that do? It actually labels you as a failure. But immediately when I left that and pursue something that is in line with my dream, I started progressing up until master's degree. So it was so much important. It was so much important for me. It was so much important for me to let go of a dead horse, because not every path is for you.
Crisis has created an opportunity to unlearn and the opportunity to prepare to relearn certain things. That's words from Ntokozo.
I think nothing captures that more than the situation we find ourselves. And we spoke about the paradigm shift. It's an opportunity for us to really rethink and assess the direction that we were taking. So I think not to deviate from that, but I know this is the opportunity, the last opportunity to actually share my takeaway. And if you accept me, if you allow me, I actually just want to share something from one of the coaches or one of the speakers who cited a very powerful quote in reference to Michael Jackson. And I think most of the participants here who are watching would remember exactly the name of the lady. But she said that people, when Michael Jackson goes on stage, he bends and people literally pay money to watch him bend. And I think that was one of the aha moments. So I did not want to miss this opportunity before I shared it. And Coach Ella asked, what is it that you'd want to do and the world watches you, but not only watches you, but pay to watch you bend? And I think reconciling that with how crisis puts us in a place where we actually sit back and ask ourselves exactly, with all these things that we were busy doing before lockdown, were they all necessary? But you find yourself now in quarantine, sitting at home in a crisis moment where now you have to reconcile this which you have been doing with your purpose and actually limit the distractions, some of the relationships, some of the business that maybe you have been pursuing were not worth it or were not linked to your purpose. But you must do something that will actually set you on fire so that when we come out of this lockdown, people will watch you bend. And I think maybe that's how all of these sessions, they interlink and sort of gives you a light or a new way of imagining the future and igniting hope in your heart so that you can survive during this crisis. As the summit says, entrepreneurship, online entrepreneurship survival summit. So I think all of us, we can attest that it's actually a surviving tool. that all of us need to actually go through this time, gain wisdom so that we can come out stronger than we got in.
It reminds me of the Bible scripture with a lack of reference clearly right now, but that says, neither things are good nor bad, they happen in the favor of those who believe. Things that sometimes happen in our lives, we may not have understanding of them, but it is Steve Jobs who says it's only when you look backwards that you can start adding the dots. Possibly the lockdown was affording you a breakthrough. So your perspective determines how you going to take up things from going from after lockdown going forward. Aushabulile, thank you very much for contributing. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you very much, Ostabulile.
Thank you very much for affording me the opportunity to actually voice out my takeaway.
All right. You're welcome. Welcome. Okay, let's go to our list and get the second person. All right. Joseph Klubi. Let's take it up. I've seen your name a couple of times. All right. Dada Joseph. Can you just unmute your video and your audio?
Okay, sir. Am I clear, sir?
Yes, the voice is clear, but we can't see you say. Or you just want to pass your voice only.
No, I will fix it.
Hey, there was music when we were growing up. You never know. Oh. All right. I'm not sure whether that are we having a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, are you connected now?
Yes, but I have a problem with the video, sir. Let me see.
It doesn't. All right, it's fine, sir. For the sake of time and respecting everyone who's on board, can you just tell us who are you and what are you currently doing?
Okay, sir. The name is Joseph Klubi, and I am a marketing graduate. I'm an aspiring marketer. Yes. So, ke rata ntho e ntate Lebohang a buileng o tshwere ntho ne ke batla ho tla ho yona ya Ausalane.
Okay.
Ausalane, she talked about sometimes we have to disrupt ourselves. Sometimes we have to stop and look at what we are running after.
Yes.
So that was a wow moment for me, because we often chase things and we don't want to analyze what we are chasing.
All right. We had Coach Ella who came in under the topic picture of a success as a pulling mechanism. And she challenged us with a very crucial question, such as, what do you want? Why are you really here? As a framework that gives us or that guides us into what we live for every day.
I think one of the most profound things that Coach Ella mentioned was her citing the moment of the day. She actually said she was attending a Zoom funeral or something like that, if I remember correctly. And then she said that all of us, when that time comes where we have to part ways with this earth, all of the things we are concerned with are not how many board meetings did I miss, how much money did I make, and all that, but it's experiences, it's people, its purpose, and what we have accomplished while we were on this earth. And I think all those questions, at the end of the day, they are what you live for now, to see how you connect them with your purpose, and really to stop and ask yourself crucial questions as an entrepreneur. Whether all that I'm doing, is it worth it? Is it something that I really signed up for when I started? Because when you are on the journey, sometimes there's so much clutter. There are so many people that you meet on your journey towards what you are working for. or the idea of what you had initially when you started the journey. And sometimes we are caught up with so many things, and many other people, and we sort of lose sight of where we were actually headed. And I think it was one of those sessions that we had to really reflect and ask ourselves questions. What am I really waiting for? What am I really waiting towards? And I think she embodied that in so many terms, in so many ways, in so many angles, with much more precision and purity in her message and her beautiful smile.
And Dr. Fan, many of us, we don't tend to ask ourselves questions because our ability to answer such questions work as a measurement of how ready I am. How crucial is it for one to be able to put time aside and be able to respond to such introspective questions?
Adaptability, I want to also just add into what our audience said there. When Coach Ella said something about that she's in entrepreneurship space to make a difference. You know, that resonated well to say that this is not a person who's going to, she's not getting into entrepreneurship to sell something. She's not there, she's there to make a difference. You know, and that for me stood out quite well. And you could understand, I mean, from her prowess and from the way she shared, you could say that it's someone who do a self-introspection now and then to ask ourselves, why am I doing what I'm doing? The same thing that what Abdile Bawang has just shared now, that at the end of your deathbed, you don't really ask how many products I've sold, how many, but it's a matter of, did I really fulfill my purpose? One of the things that really I really appreciated about Coach Ella was, of course, that most popular thing that touched us of Michael Jackson going to stage to burn, and we pay him to watch him burn. He said something about find what you are good at and become top 2% in the world that does it. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was so profound, because actually that nullified the question of I need to compete with someone else. That nullified the fact that I need to go and do market research and do what and try to come up with an alternative. Basically, she was just saying, make your gift your entrepreneurial dream.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that was so magnificent, because you then realize, you know, one of the things that I really appreciate of Dita Pello is that God is the most innovative man. You know, he never, even the twins, they are not identical. Even the twins are not identical, meaning that each one of us have something unique. And Coach Ella was just saying, just find it and become top 2% of the people who are doing it well. Then people will come pay you while you're building.
Thank you, sir. And Dr. Joseph, your second aha moment.
My second aha moment is from Date Fanafikile.
Yes,
Date Fanafikile Labua, saying the journey of entrepreneurship and the journey of life in general is a journey of learning. We learn through the process. We learn by making mistakes. And you must have a why in life and in entrepreneurship in general. If that why is not big enough, then this journey is going to be tough. That was wow for me.
That is no fun.
Yes, man. Well, we are serving. I was actually thinking about Abdi Fanafigile's session. You know, it was quite an emotional, authentic session. I mean, when he shared his experience in the ocean, and when he juxtaposed that with something that happened in his own personal life, I felt very privileged and honored to have been, you know, the one consuming such information, that he had to make a decision whether to pursue his dream or come back home and bury his mother. And he had to make a very difficult choice. And when he shared the decision-making process of doing that, and what his mentor was saying to him, and the internal processing of the whole process, what happened, it actually kind of like lightened up the situation of COVID-19 for me, because I literally felt I could relate that his experience in the ocean was what we are going through right now as the world, that we are in the ocean where we actually we don't really know what we are doing. We don't know the stats are coming and this are coming, but all we need to have is we must have a pursuit of a dream. I mean, it was quite inspiring. Thank you.
And Dr. Matabe, Dr. Fana was speaking about redesigning your thinking, developing an easy mindset that adapts to everything in looking at the situation that we are in now.
I think one of the things he mentioned, or the word that he used, is reprogramming or programming, which I think links back to the very first session. Your colleagues, your lovers, your parents, your educators, and how you need to reprogram yourself in order for you to achieve that which you want to achieve. And then he spoke about how this determines how we feel, our emotions and our actions, and how the actions will ultimately lead you to the result that you want. And I think in many ways, we sort of lose touch to how we are programmed. And especially as people of color, we come from backgrounds that did not set us up to success. And what he came with and his ability to give us his content and his experiences really impacted us. And I think that's what made what the session to stand out across all other sessions, of course, but in particular to give us the side of his experiences and how he's implementing not only his theory to in his experiences or in his daily challenges. So I think it was a much more practical, pragmatic, and challenging session to all of us to become better and to really relook how we are programmed and to even begin to work in reprogramming ourselves.
Thank you very much, sir. I think so much respect to everyone who opens their heart and become authentical with their stories, because they build a nest in our hearts to always source inspiration when we feel like giving up. Today, something amazing happened that reminded me of Ntate Fana again. Our closing speaker, Ntate Mngondisi Kumete. He had an uncommon session today where he was addressing us for about 40 minutes. He was in a family funeral, but look, that didn't stop him to continue delivering excellency and a great content that he always does. And from the end of that session, I asked myself, and I would also want to ask to the audience, what excuses that are you holding onto that are making you not to do what you're supposed to do? If people are willing to push beyond like this, what is it that me and you are holding with our little excuses? Ntate Joseph, your last aha moment.
My last aha moment was Ntate Thabo Mongalo.
Yes, sir.
He talked about how you should kill this you must die for you to get to the you that you want. This you must die. And the number one thing you can control is yourself. That is the number one thing. Even in spaces of uncertainty and everything, you can control you.
Even the fruit of the spirit, they speak about self-control.
Yeah.
I'm actually just trying to digest and go through the thought process, because I think this is one of the most difficult yet simple topics to speak about, especially because all of us, I think, in here, we are leaders. By virtue of being here, we are leaders. And one of the leadership principles is that you cannot lead others until you are able to manage and lead yourself effectively.
Yeah.
So I think self-management, or the ability to be in charge and control yourself, is one of the most underrated skills. We speak about all these skills. You must be able to speak in public, you must be able to manage people, you must be able to intellectually analyze and read situations, but not often do we hear about us or you being able to manage and deal with yourself. And I think that's one of the most important things that came out of this session. Not only to have the ability to sell, the ability to make money, the ability, but the ability to manage yourself. And I think that's one of the most powerful and critical nuggets that came out of this session, which I think all of us, we owe it to the speakers, in as much as we were here with our data and whatever, but the genuine conversation with ourselves and to really ask ourselves questions. Am I really managing myself effectively? And because I mean, Ntatemuli spoke about the ability to grow and join the top 2%. But reality is that that is impossible if you can't lead and manage yourself. And I think that's one of the most critical things that came out of that session in particular.
And Ntatemuli, he spoke about the CPA approach: consumer, process, and apply.
I think he actually. Oh, that was so profound. That was actually quite profound. As I remember even quoting it as as one of the quotations he actually highlighted on. But without just waste of time, just one or two sentences. I mean, what Abdi Joseph has shared on, it was one of my aha moment. The concept of dying. You know, I mean, the way he just frankly spoke about it, it reminded me of the process of the seed, actually. That for a tree to be beautiful, for a tree to come, a seed must go to the ground. The seed must go to the ground in the soil and die before it can blossom. I mean, for me, that was an incredible moment. That, like what Abdilabhang has just shared, that it is the most underrated discipline, more especially in an entrepreneurial space, an ability to self-manage yourself. You know, self-mastery makes you the first raw material to your product.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah. We cannot be general in our generation. We will not die as consumers. We will become producers.
That's true.
And Dada Joseph,
Dada Tapelo,
you left with one.
Oh, I'm left with one.
No. You done three. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm aware that we are a bit at the time, it's out of our control. Can I just humbly request to take two additionally? To take please, can I just ask you, because it's very crucial for us to track the evidence of what we're trying to do. So Joseph, what's up, Papa?
Thank you, Papa.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Now there's you. Ntate Matade, Ntate Nyofani.
Yes,
there is Spamandla, there is Ausintatua, there is Bui, there is Kekeleto, but his central reception was not well. I'm not sure. Then there is Dr. J, there is Prime Maluka. You tell me, who should I put on?
It would be great to have Dr. J as one of the speakers. It was one of the previous speakers.
Panelist, let me promote him. Thank you very much, sir. Can we select?
I go with Dr. J, and I think there's I can't recall the name. But I think that's one of the rich names.
Mbui. There is Prime Maluka, there is Auskekele Tako, there is Bui, there is Ausintatu, there's Spamandla.
Spamandla.
Yes. All right. I'm not sure. Let me promote Spamandla. We'll try to keep it as fast as we can. Dr. J. I'm not sure whether she joined.
Hi, Chapelo.
Gunjani ma.
Yeah, Pilar Dujal, you putting me on the spot. I'm in my pajamas.
I am sorry. Voice of vote voted that we bring you to the panelist. All right. Hi, Spamandla. Hi, Spamandla. Hi, Spamandla.
Spamandla is muted.
I think for the sake of time, we can continue with Dr. J while waiting for Spamandla.
Okay, Doctor, we sharing our 3 aha moments from episode 1 to episode 16.
Okay.
So I think I'm not sure. Many are still aware that you were one of the panelists. So, but the panelist wants to interrogate your follow-up to sessions.
Which it seems like everybody has prepared. I didn't prepare. I was just here listening. So I didn't really apply myself and thought of what I would say.
That is where we're going to get the best combination of the mind and the heart. When you are unprepared. All right. I don't know whether Spamandla we're still struggling with. Let me try to get, while Doctor prepare herself, let's take Kekeleto, and I think we could be able to give everyone a chance. We still have a time. Ask Kekeleto.
I think Kekeleto sent. He said reception is not good.
All right.
Reception, yeah.
Okay, I think let's. Doctor, you still preparing your questions? Your aha moments? You're putting everyone on the spot. Hi, Ntatu. Hi, Ntatu. Ntatu.
I think her microphone is on mute. So if she can kindly unmute herself.
Let me try to ask her to unmute, please. All right. I'm not sure on the chat room. I have access now. All right. She has access now. Let's try. Ausin Tatua. Tatua. I think she's unable. Let's bring Kekeleto back. And then Ausin Tatua, if you can just indicate when you're ready, so then we can promote you. Okay. Promote to panelist. Hi, Auskekeleto. I guess we're struggling with our people. Why are we still waiting on our people? You can just watch us with Auskekeleto.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. And you?
We are super. We are super. You also want us to have your voice only?
Okay, no, you can actually. Go live. It's okay.
All right, can you just, we don't want anonymous. Tomorrow we should be seeing each other and greeting. This is an online community. Most of us, this is the first time we meet on online sessions.
That's so true.
We clearly want to know who we're speaking to. Because I heard that there is apps now that shows people who goes to your social media and snoop you around. So you should know, I know this face from the summit. Are you all right now, Oscar Geleto?
Yes, hi. Can you guys
hi, how are you?
I'm great.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Can you tell people who you are and what do you do now?
Okay, my name is Kekeleton Tako. I'm proudly from Taba.
I know her.
I used to go to the same school with Coach Tapelo. I'm currently doing an internship with a software company that develops and sells accounting software. I'm also studying towards my accounting degree. And
wow. Okay.
in the new year, I'll be running my bookkeeping practice. So I've been doing business. I've been dipping in business here and there all the time, but it's never worked. And when Dr. Lichuti was giving a session, I realized two important things about myself. And one is that I'm talented, right? But I'm not aligning my talent to my purpose, right? And I came to this business equation with what he said. My perspective is totally different. So my equation with what he said is that we need to work on perspectives, right? And perspectives as an individual and a business perspective. So we need to work on how people see us, right? Before we need to start with ourselves. How do we see ourselves as a business? How do we see ourselves as a person? Then also, how do people see us as an individual and how people see us as a business? And most importantly, the most important one that as a business person and as an individual that we need to work on is how do we want people to perceive us? And have the strength and the ability and the skills to determine how people perceive us. But we need to start understanding ourselves first. So my biggest struggle is I've been doing everything. I've had businesses that are a success. I've had businesses that failed. And I've seen the businesses that did well, they're not sustainable because ultimately it's just money, but the self in it is not there. So what I took from the session is that it is important to discover the individual perspective and to also discover your business perspective. And once you understand your individual perspective, it's easier to determine your business perspective. Thank you.
President Mansuas Hua that I once came across was saying, how you do person, it's how you do business. How I do myself, it's how I do everything. Can I really separate personal perspective and business perspective?
I don't think it's a possibility. It's actually a agree. Either the failure of your business or the success of a business can be equal to the potential or the ability of the leader or the person who's actually running the business. So the leadership lead, it's actually a concept I think coined by Dr. Maxwell, who said that everyone that you are leading, you are a lead in that organization or to those people that you are leading. So we cannot, unfortunately, to an extent, separate the business from the leader, even though we can speak about management. But when you think about Apple, there's a leader that comes to mind. When you think about Mercedes Benz. There's a leader that comes to mind. When you think about Facebook, there's someone that comes to mind. When you think about New Minds, Mindthink Institute, there's someone who comes to mind. So all organizations and businesses that we're building, they are directly or indirectly a proportion of the person who's leading them. So when you think about the top best performing universities or institutions or whatever, there's always a person involved. So I think it's quite impossible for us to even attempt to separate the business, the organization, or whatever that we are leading from the person behind that particular institution. So it's a narrative that I think the entire session or the entire summit has been about, focusing on self and focusing on the organization or focusing on the business so that there's mutual growth. Because unfortunately, if it grows way higher than your potential, it might end up.
That's true.
Oh, jump in, Mr. Nyafani. It's fine. You can jump in, sir.
I think Mr. President just nailed it. You know, it is like exactly like that. And I mean, from what Auskeke say, actually, I want to say hi. I think we're from the same street in Kotadichava. Thank you, Abditapelo, for reconnecting us. Yeah, I think we're from the same street, right?
Okay,
yeah,
okay, please remind me, because I
haven't.
haven't.
Or something.
Yes,
Your surname is Ntago, right?
Yes.
Yes, you are staying in the same street of Holatutu, isn't it?
Okay. I'll remember. I'll remember.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it is so much profound, because if you look at Titapelo, right, even in big businesses, if a business fail, it doesn't matter which department, but if a business fail, and to extend that it caused the company's revenue to actually go down. One of the things that normally said in business industry is that the CEO must do an honorable thing and resign.
Yes,
mainly because I mean, this is purely my opinion, that and one of the speakers shared about it, that a business is actually an amplification of your personality.
Yes,
you know, so I do not really think that my way of leading my life in my private space would be different from the way I lead my business. Whether I will try to separate it, whether I will try to say, this is how I am at work, this is how I am at home, one way or the other, they will collide. You are one person. You cannot share yourself.
Black child, this is a winning conversation right there. Dr. J. Dr. J. I'm not sure if she's still struggling.
Yes.
All right. Are you going to have an input to what Auskeke said? She was struggling with her perspective, you know, and what she took out from conversation, the talk from Dr. Lichuti, was that your perspective and business perspective reflects the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody once said you are one person. You can't divide yourself into different components. So if you are a person without integrity, you will be as an individual and you will be in your business. So you can't divide yourself into two different things. You are one. It's just a matter of how you decide to show up. You can pretend in certain circumstances to be something else that you are not, but it will show up somewhere because you're just one. It's just a matter of it coming out. And you can't be the honest person in business and you're not honest as an individual.
Real entrepreneurs, they sleep with their guns loaded of bullets. When they just wake up, they fire. It means that the level of my income as a business is a reflection of my understanding of pursuing the same business. If my bank cannot make me smile, it's not the problem of the business. It's my problem. Oh, wow. How's Kekeletso? Your second aha moment.
My second aha moment, Liet Madina. I'm very fortunate that when I started my internship, I was just going to do accounts. And when I got there, the MD of the company said, you know what, I'm going to put you in the sales team. I'm going to put you in the sales team. And I went into the sales team and I headed a campaign. And then he said, you know what, I'm going to match your sales team with the marketing team. And fortunately, sales and marketing are merging. So when Liet was talking about corporate storytelling, it's a new concept that I'm learning, and I was elated when she was talking about it. Corporate storytelling is very important. She highlighted that, and in fact, I was due to submit a report today, and I have to say I stole some of her things, and I put them in my report. So what she said was very important, because the company is struggling to make sales, right? Okay, the company is making sales, but not profitable sales. You know, it's just sales to cover overhead. So I learned yesterday that it's important that we give our customers an experience, right? Yes, we have accounting software. Everybody needs accounting software today, but how when our existing customers come, do they refer people to us because they had a great experience? And part of giving people a great experience, I learned from what Liet said, is that we need to convey the right message. If it's clients, we need to give them the customer experience by giving them okay, for one, in the coaching profession, we need to give people the impression that we are selling a professional service to successful people. So if I'm just selling accounting software, and you know, there's many accounting softwares, people would rather buy somewhere else because they're going to get the experience that they're going to be successful because they have they've been sold a professional service. And another key thing that I learned was that corporate storytelling is important because it gives a narrative that, as a business, we need to give the narrative that we're successful so that other people want to do business with us. So those are the things, and that's what I learned today.
Tatanya Fani, we rely on strong brand equity during this time because we have mastered packaging storytelling to our clients. She came in Ausliet and she said marketing is the driver of the corporate narrative.
It was so amazing when I met. I mean, the way she actually narrated. How do you build a corporate story? And one of the interesting and nice thing about all the speakers, you know, it's like there's a divine intervention that everything they say, they interconnect and interrelate. You understand? I mean, Ausliet spoke about the importance of researching, spoke about the importance of learning the industry that you're gonna go into. And then she spoke about how that is actually going to help you to build a unique selling proposition. I mean, that was amazing, you know, because she said something about that not everyone is your customer. And I remember there was a question when someone was asking that, what if I have a product, I have a branding, but people don't want to buy it. They don't want to buy it because it's expensive. And she said, it means you are targeting wrong customers. You know, so the corporate narrative and with which market segment you need to actually target. It was quite profound, but it all came from understanding your narrative. Because from your narrative, you would actually, because she spoke about something that every product has its own target market. So you have to understand Once you have narrated your story, you have come up with your the story behind your product, then who will listen to this story?
The president, I know that you are in the same space. She said storytelling connects you better to people.
It's true. I mean, you think about each and every brand, each and every business, each and every entrepreneur. All of us, we are messages, we are messengers. And how we actually communicate that messages first from one person to another. But by the virtue of just calling your institute Mind Think Institute, that on its own is a story that you are telling the world. It's a message that you are trying to drive to your potential audience or to your audience. And I think it's important for all of us to understand that even from the naming of the business, it's no longer, or it's not only about calling or naming the business after yourself, but it's about trying to sell or give a story to the world. So ego sometimes, I know, it gets in our way in so many ways that we actually forget that there are other important things that a brand should actually meet. So there is connection to weight, there's connection to color, there's connection to feel, there's connection to almost each and everything, music, ambience, and the experiences that I get when I get in contact with your brand. So that, at the end of the day, it's what I live with. And maybe because the lineage or the history behind branding actually comes from people who used to mark their cows to actually know that this is my cow. So when they brand their cows, that's how they knew that this cow that is branded in this way actually belongs to so and so. And in many ways, it's not about the cow itself, because there are many cows, but it's about the mark in that particular cow. So a mark is actually left by many things. And when we get a mark from being educated, being empowered, being inspired with Mind Think Institute, that is the story that connects us to your brand. Even next time when we see your flyer on Facebook or wherever, because of the experience we have, the narrative that you sold to us, it becomes easier for us to actually buy in and pay how much ever amount you charge, because there's something that connects us or links us with your brand. So I think she captured it so well, from differentiation, segmentation, concentration, and all that she spoke from the marketing perspective. I think she nailed it, and I really honor her for that.
Dr. J, there is so much fight about whether does the digital age pushes us to close the traditional way of marketing, because I think we have limited we have waived the responsibility of taking our brands out there on flyers and business cards.
I think the digital world obviously is going to be becoming the bigger platform that people look at. But not all of us, we've got customers that are on the digital space. So it's a matter of who are you targeting. If you are in a rural area where people are still using SMSs and those kind of things, you cannot just move to Facebook or to LinkedIn because people are saying this is the new way of doing things. So it goes back to understanding your business and who's the customer that we are trying to get. One of my mentees once said, I've been marketing on Facebook for such a long time. And I realized that I'm talking to the wrong people, because all those people who are there, my sisters and brothers and my friend, and they just keep on liking, but they are not buying. And I thought there was something wrong with my strategy. But the thing is, the customers are not there. You have to understand your customer first to know where your customer is and go market where your customer is. And not just because it's said now the new way is we are moving digital, and then you waste money on digital while your customers are sitting there waiting for somebody to come market to them.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much. Your last aha moment.
My last aha moment, Elaine Jacobs, a reliving Dolce Vita.
Dolce Vita girl.
So okay, I wanted to end this with a lighter topic, and
okay.
it's very important. If there's anything about me, I like a nice lifestyle, and emphasize that waking up every day and not looking back at yesterday, but moving forward will eventually lead you to start living like living Dolce Vita. And because of the efforts that you put in, that you eventually, because we don't go into business because we want people to know that we have businesses, but eventually we go into businesses, we want to cater for our needs, our wants, we want to cater for our families. So I'm not going to put a lot of emphasis on that, but I just wanted to leave everyone with a lighter message that whatever we do, let's strive to, whatever businesses that we go in, let's make sure that we enjoy it ultimately. We enjoy doing it so that we can reap benefits that make us enjoy our lives much better. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Dr. J, there is something that Coach Ella was tapped into, that sometimes what the only evident thing that keeps pushing us is the picture that you have in your mind of that dream life that you want to have. And look, business is not a dream, career is not a dream, but it's a bridge that brings you to the life that brings you closer to that picture that you have. How crucial is it for us to have that idea of end when we start?
They normally say if you can visualize it, then you can achieve it. So if you can't even visualize it, then you can imagine how difficult it is to do it and to know when you are there. So it's very important that when you start with the end in mind, because then that guides you. Obviously, you're not going to end up where you think you'll end up, but you'll end up somewhere closer to there. And sometimes people can give up that big picture or that big dream because it's like, it's not going there. But the bottom line is that we know that in reality, your focus don't become your actuals, but at least you get closer to your actuals by focusing as to where you want to get to.
That's no fun.
I think Dr. J just said it quite mouthful one of me.
All right. President. Thank you very much, for being with us.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Coach Tapelo, okay, can he please remind me, like, before we go?
He will tell you when you meet. He will tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, my apologies then. I'm very bad with people. I'm very bad with birthdays. It's not
You're like me. You are like me. Don't worry, Oskeketo. You are like me.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom. All right. Let's see who can bring on board. We have. Let's take Ndate Pride Manuka. He's been following the sessions, I know, for quite a while. Ndate Pride. And Ndate Pride. Le kae Ndate Manuka hle?
Ke phetse Ntate Mtau.
Re teng. O tlo re fa voice fela le wena. All right, it's fine. Say, just introduce yourself and what are you currently doing?
Nna ke Mohau Brian Maloka. Ke tseba haholo ka ho DJ ke Pino B.
All right.
Le company e bitswang ke music sample entertainment ke hirisa service sa DJ ya lo hirisa sound, but my main priority ke business more than entertainment.
All right, say. In the last 16 days that you were part of the summit, what are your 3 aha moments? What have you taken away from the session?
Well, to one little fella, this session I want to kill and kena. This session ya tabo, suppose.
Okay. Yes, tabo ngala Coach T.
Yes, Coach T. Yeah, for me, I umbutima haholo, especially hanabuya ka taba ya hore re phelela ho as business people, re phelela ho etsa tjhelete, re shebile side la tjhelete rather than side la hore you learn something, you process it, then you apply. So Rona, we learn and then we apply. Kapo, we don't process. And with the processing, whoa, here na more lose some vision, kapo, what we want to do. Then the repealer can I need to get the next client, I need to get the next kid. So that in itself, sometimes we need to sit down, process. Process because like Dr. Bua, unanale familia high, Facebook, advertiser, but it's because we don't process. Okay, so talk for me,
yeah, all the videos you can access them to YouTube channel Tapelo Big Trima Montaune.
Yes.
All right. Coach T spoke about transactional thinking versus transformational thinking as the moments that arises in our journey as entrepreneurs.
And I think one of the things he said in particular is that the times that we find ourselves requires a new way of thinking.
Yes, sir.
So I think it's important for us to actually assess our thinking patterns, our thinking model, and to really decide whether we just want to think transitionally or to think to have transactional thoughts. It's very important that we as entrepreneurs and as people that want to build institutions and organizations that will impact our generation to take time and assess whether our thinking is in line with the times that we find ourselves, or we are just thinking because thinking might be an exciting thing or something that we don't have an option over. So I think it's very important that we heed those words, we heed the call, and we apply as he rightfully said.
Daniel Fani, he spoke about quality over quantity of information.
When I'm actually even thinking about that, because I love how he actually put it, because he said something like, you don't need just an information, but you must get explicit and relevant information to your purpose. And he spoke about how to be aware of information overload, because sometimes we just think, you know, I hear people a lot of the time says, no, I'm researching, but they don't really understand, or they don't really follow a certain pattern of saying what kind of information. I mean, if you're using Google to research and you just type how to do this, you're gonna find a lot of blogs, a lot of Facebook posts, a lot of Twitter posts, and what that are not really even authentic or even relevant to your purpose. So I mean, I really loved that. And another thing he said in line with that is what he actually shared, the wisdom that his mentors shared, that every voice has an audience. He said something about if you become authentic enough, those who are meant to hear your voice will actually hear you. You know, I actually love, because it's actually in line with that. Because you see, sometimes we tend to do I think Ausliet who shared yesterday that we tend to follow the story of other people without really knowing what exactly underpinned that particular story. But you see, striving to become authentic, striving to becoming yourself will actually even help you to locate explicit relevant information to your purpose.
Doctor, and she closed by something that is very crucial. He said, execution is worship. After all, you know. Did we lose the doctor?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't follow that assertion, but I wanted to add something on the previous panelist who just left, who was talking about the corporate stories, which reminded me of Balabala's talk when he was talking about our own stories, that we need to build our stories, because our stories is where the strength comes from, and sometimes we undermine our stories, and we need to build them, because that's where our power is, and that's how we're going to make our businesses work, by building our own stories and be comfortable with telling those stories.
Wow, thank you, doctor. And how really want that work, because you only attended one session. We're gonna give you 3 chances to share your aha moment. Okay. With the same speaker.
With the same speaker, but equipantly. Can I just speak as don't be scared or qualified. Don't avoid. Don't avoid things. Maybe 100 I want to try pass. Equal qualified. So Lorna, for me, that was aha moment. Or you know what? Sometimes we sprinkle rates something of one of them. Story. You know what? Let me do it. But if you stop away yet, or wait, pana or over something, it was a later. Pass. So that for me was an aha moment, because as an individual, I've tried to find what am I good at, until I found that the only thing I'm good at, and I'm going to get such a DJ, why don't I put my energy on this? So that was a moment for me. Okay, I tried to do this, I spar. So in just panic and
President, Ntate Bongani shared 5 transitional lessons out of his story. And in one of them, he said, your dreams are still valid. The second, he said, do it even if you're still afraid. And then he said, preparation and opportunity. Then 4, he said, do what makes your heart sing. And then last one, he said, meet needs and solve problems.
I'm not sure if I remember the speaker or the session. I might have missed the session. Yeah. But I think in many times, dreams that are valid, in connection to what the good doctor just said, that sometimes we nullify our own stories, we nullify our own passions, we nullify our own callings, and then we, in other words, don't deem them as good enough to make a dent of impact in our generation. And then we rather settle to become mere followers, and we become custodian of other people's dreams, whereas there are dreams that are lying deep within us, and then we forgo them, sometimes because of negative self-image or negative self-concept, or sometimes because we are surrounded by people and circumstances that points to the contrary of where we actually, or the destiny is pulling us. And we think that our dreams are actually invalid, or we are not capable enough, or fit enough or equipped enough to actually achieve them. So I think in not so many words, that can be my 2 cents of contribution, despite me having missed the session.
Doctor?
Yes.
Dr. Hey, this one, they want to be my nightmare. I'm out of bed, but they want to be my nightmares. Tate Bongani spoke about 5 transitional lessons that he was, with his story, he was bringing the hope element, how to survive and thrive using creativity during the time that we are in. And he spoke so highly about our dreams are valid. And secondly, I think what relates to so many people is doing it afraid. We always want to eliminate fear in doing something for the first time.
Yeah, and that is impossible. Sorry, especially if you are trying to do something big, because if you are trying to do something big, the guaranteed thing is that you haven't done it before, and you will automatically be scared because then you know you might fail. And one of the qualities of being an entrepreneur is that you embrace failure. So you are comfortable to fail. That's why you try different things. But the minute you start not wanting to do things because you're scared to fail, or you feel your dream is not good enough or it's not valid, then you'll never do anything. So it's very important that you validate it for yourself and be comfortable with it yourself and not wait for anybody else to validate it for you. And then you just go and you'll see it. You fail, you stand, you go again, you fail, you learn, you stand, you go again. And that's just the cycle. You fail, you stand up, you try again until you succeed. And that's just how the journey goes.
Ndate Mulifi.
Yes, Ndate. No, thank you very much, Dr. J. I mean, that was so mouthful. I think there's a quote that says something about courage is feeling fear, but doing it anyhow.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I think also being in entrepreneurial space, you need to understand that sometimes you are your only fan. You are your only cheerleader. You are your only person who could say, this makes sense in my heart and my mind can comprehend it. It doesn't really have to make sense in another person. I mean, that's what makes us leaders in entrepreneurship. Because I mean, there's no leadership without vision. And what is vision? Vision is seeing something that has not happened. That's why each and every company has a vision. And when people follow you and ask you where exactly are we going, you'll say you will know. And basically what you say, you don't know yourself, but you know that this vision is burning in your heart. So it's very quite important for us to be our own cheerleaders in this entrepreneurial journey, because it's quite a lonely journey.
Greater impact comes from an equation that says pain plus processes equals to a pain. What you suffer today qualifies you to be an expert in the same thing in the future. So the pain that you go through and the processes that you develop in overcoming the problem actually qualifies you to be impactful in the same space. I think for me, what really outstood for me was meet the needs and solve the problems. We always shy away from solving the problems. That's why a lot of businesses are collapsing, because they were set up for good times only. A lot of our businesses are set up on a ready to make money mode. When things go wrong, we don't have the backup mechanism as to how do we work with it. So I think if we are to be impactful generation, it needs to be our consistent thinking to solve problems that we can turn into money, because my pain carries my gain in a long run. And Dr. Brian, thank you very much, sir.
No, kile buile ntate Molif. To we buile ke always gona kile na bua. neng aka story sa se bone wa kwe a se bone ke batho and a ba utlwisisi ntho wena o e bona so hantle ke a leboha.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dad.
Salangan.
Thank you, pa.
I think we ran out of time, Mr. Tapelo.
Yeah, no. I'm really respecting time. Yeah, about to. Ntate, Nofani, your parting words. Your parting words for today's session?
You see, I honestly would love to say I cannot go without acknowledging Dr. J, because I mean, for me, she spoke to my heart. You know, I love when she said something like, no one knows what techniques and elements to apply to be a successful entrepreneur. But what we do is we come here to share our experience and things that we have practiced in our own personal space and how they have worked for us. I mean, your words about belief system may really, because that really changed me. I mean, when you spoke about if you believe a COVID is a crisis, your behavior is going to act in a crisis mode. But if you see COVID as an opportunity, your behavior automatically will start seeing opportunities. I mean, that was so amazing. And I'm one of the audience who ask you what kind of business do you do? Because I mean, I would love to really interact with you even further. Because I mean, I'm studying my PhD in entrepreneurship, and my focus is in entrepreneurial leadership. So I mean, I'm more interested in, because I mean, I learned your story when you said something like, you were in business, you failed, and after failing, you just wanted to study it as a construct. It's the same journey that I actually went through. So I'm very honored. Thank you very much for Mind Institute for making our cross the path. I was so blessed. And you, Abdi Tapelo, and our dearest president, this has been an amazing experience for me. I'm looking forward to share with you next week, although you've already taken my script. Already taken my script. I don't know what I'm going to share next week.
No, look, I think Doctor is one of the people who shared the unexpected approach to delivering a message that everyone in their eyes could take it for granted, but they form the very strong foundation of every entrepreneur. I was speaking with other gentlemen, and I was telling them, look, the funny part is when the devil attacks, he doesn't attack your business, but he attacks your values, you know. So when you have an easy squeezable values, then you are to give him worship. So we constantly produce entrepreneurs who want to master doing business, but who cannot master themselves. So now values and belief, it builds a very lucrative foundation for us as an entrepreneur. So I also concur with you that it was very crucial for her to speak about that. The president.
Because I feel like there's a new session that is now taking place. Because the devil attacks your values, does not attack your business. I think that's so profound. That's so profound. And in not so many ways, I think maybe just to give appreciation, I mean, from all of us as people who are novice in the space, people who are still coming, and people who are learning, to be able to be on the same pedestal with the fellow panelists and people who are, I think, a mile ahead on this journey. It's a privilege. And they always say that a stretched mind can never go back to its original form. And all of us, I can really attest that we've been stretched, we've been equipped, we've been challenged during this session. And we are really looking forward to interacting with many of the fellow panelists to continue to learn so that we can take our businesses from good to great. Dr. J, I would want to say something. I don't know, I can't remember the speaker very well who said, at the end, people may not remember what you said, but they would remember how you made them feel. And exactly. So it's one of those moments where I think when I was listening to you, and even your ability to answer questions and the precision that you use in responding to the questions and the engagements during your session, it's one of the things which I saw that you are in Powerhouse. You actually reminded me of Metuli Madonsela. But I think I appreciate your presentation, and Tate Molifi, thanks a lot, and Tate Tapelo, thanks a lot for the session opportunity. May the Institute grow in leaps and bounds. Until we meet again, thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Doctor?
Yes, I must say first that this really was, I said to you even when you contacted me that this is a good initiative. I'm one of the people who believe so much in supporting each other as entrepreneurs, because sometimes we rely too much and look up to government to support us. But we neglect the resources that we have ourselves, that we are resourceful enough also to support each other. And that makes a difference because our journeys might be different, but there will be things that are similar that we all go through. And when you share your experience, you never know who else is struggling with the same thing, that you might just save that person from making the same mistake that you made when you were struggling with that thing. So this platform really is and the fact that, you know, some of us, we are not able to follow all the sessions, but the fact that you upload them for us so that we can follow later is really, really appreciated. And I wish you all the best as the organization. And I know you've got bigger dreams to make this work. And I'm saying all the best.
And Doctor, thank you very much. Ntatenyofani, thank you very much. The President, thank you very much. Our audience, thank you very much. This would not be possible if it wasn't because of your words of courage in everyday encountering problems, electricities, speaker encountering challenges at home. But you always loyal, you always keep me going. Thank you very much. This is not about Tapelo, but this is about us. When somebody speaks outside boundaries of South Africa, he doesn't say economy do weki a specific person, but he says South Africans are lazy. So it will take me and you to stay together to build a better place. Our purpose, our aim for me and you was that we leave this place as a better place, not the place that we found as it is. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we still continue at 9 a.m. We have Coach Bongi, who's going to bless us with her wisdom tomorrow at 9 a.m. We're going to try to send the link tonight so that at least you're sleeping heavy in the profile and the link. And Tatenyofani, all the best with the session that you're going to have right now at 8 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mutaun Chapelo, and like I always say, you are the best and unbeatable element of success. Until we meet again, stay legendary. I'm out.
Merci.
Thank you.
Thank you.